Why do they call it the mascot? All right, there's a certain seal that needs to explain itself. No, not that seal.
My power, my pleasure, my pain.
Wrong seal again. The city of Tampa's seal. Here's the Florida State seal. Sunshine, beaches, exploration. The city of Tampa's seal? What is that, a sailboat? Okay, this is a steamship called the Mascot. It carried cigars, soldiers, you name it, between Tampa, Key West, and Havana for decades. The Mascot was put on Tampa's seal to honor the guy who owned the Mascot, Henry Plant. It was his trains, hotels, and steamships that took Tampa from a dusty village to a serious city more than 120 years ago.
But, oh, this is awkward. The ship that's the centerpiece of the whole seal? It's wrong.
The flowing sails and tall masts sure look snazzy, but they do not belong. In City Hall, there's a mock-up of the real Mascot. It's a steamship. Smokestack, yes. Sails, no. The name comes from a French short opera called La Mascotte. Everybody sing along! All right, even back then, most Americans wouldn't know the words, but they did love the show. Its characters have runs of major good luck and bad luck. The opera was so popular, it led Americans to start using the word mascot to describe a lucky person or symbol. Yep, Raymond, you are called a mascot because of this opera. And because of ships like the Mascot, Tampa first reached out into the world. Why do they call it that? Now you know. Grayson Kamm, 10 News. Why do they call it Florida?
La Florida?
I'm sorry, what?
Florida.
That's Rodney Kitepal. He's curator of history at the Tampa Bay History Center. How'd that go?
Ponce de Leon, he would have pronounced it Florida, not Florida, because in Spanish, when a word ends in a vowel, you emphasize the vowel before that.
Oh, gotcha. Glad we have that straight. Juan Ponce de Leon discovered La Florida 500 years ago. No? Okay, now what?
Not discovering Florida, but naming Florida. And we make that differentiation because, of course, there are Native Americans who are here for thousands and thousands of years.
Good point. Okay. 500 years ago, Juan Ponce de Leon became the first European to ever see... No? Seriously?
When he arrived here, there were some of the Native Americans on the East Coast who spoke Spanish, or at least understood Spanish.
Wait, how'd that happen?
The American Indians who lived all over Florida, including along the waterfront in what's now downtown Tampa, had a huge trade network that reached hundreds of miles out into the Caribbean. So just like you or I could get a computer cable from China, they could get hemp rope from Havana. And that meant somebody, somewhere along the way, had to deal with the Spaniards.
Also, there were Spaniards who came to Florida before 1513, basically trying to enslave those Native Americans.
So slave traders and merchants were the ones who hinted to Ponce de Leon he'd find something if he sailed this way. All right, then here we go. 500 years ago, Juan Ponce de Leon named La Florida, which means land of flowers. Oh, come on, I learned that in middle school.
The idea that we had growing up that Florida means land of flowers, that's probably not true. When Ponce de Leon arrived here, it was during Passover in Easter time. And one of the words for Passover in Spanish, the Old Spanish, is Pascua Florida, or Pascua Florida.
Our state owes its name to Pascua Florida, the flowery festival celebrating the Easter season. Why do they call it that? Now you really know. Grayson Kamm, 10 News. Why do they call it Mel's Hot Dogs? Hot dog. Noun, a sandwich consisting of a frankfurter and a split roll usually eaten with mustard, sauerkraut, or relish. Or a show-off. See also Melone.
The Wizard of Wieners, you know, the Pharaoh of Franks, Sultan of Sausage. I can go on for hours.
This man likes hot dogs.
Can I have a bagel dog?
But he loves people.
I come in here, I motivate my staff, I tell some jokes, I count some money, I go home. Come here, what's not to like about this? And every day, I get to eat a hot dog.
In between bands, this wayward musician opened a hot dog joint along Bush Boulevard in Tampa.
Corporate headquarters?
It was a temporary gig. He insists it still is, in the same spot, 40 years later.
I'm getting older, but I look in the mirror and I'm not sure who that guy is because I'm still a kid selling hot dogs.
There was a whole lot more to the history of this place than just hot dogs. It's still all American, but in a completely different way.
The southern half of Mel's Hot Dog Haven is the last remaining building. from Hillsborough Army Airfield. The skies over Tampa buzzed and roared with the sounds of bombers during World War II.
Bound German-occupied northwestern Europe.
Pilots trained to fly and kill. At MacDill Field, now MacDill Air Force Base, Drew Field, now Tampa International Airport, and Hillsborough Army Airfield. After the war, it became Henderson Field, a civilian airport, and once Schlitz and Anheuser-Busch bought land here for their breweries, development gradually overtook the old runways. Splash at Adventure Island, and you're bobbing where a bomber used to touch down. Same story if you're sipping a Yingling beer or getting pulled over by a state trooper. Hopefully not at the same time. The brewery, Tampa's Highway Patrol Station, all sit on the old airfield. Only a few fragments of the original tarmac remain untouched today. And here is one last piece of a crucial time in Tampa Bay's history.
And here's from one extreme to the other, from war to wieners.
How about from heroes to hot dogs? Now that is America. Why do they call it that? Now you know. Grayson Kamm, 10 News.